Most households are not prepared to handle basic medical problems without outside help. When something small happens, a burn in the kitchen, a deep cut while working in the garage, or sudden symptoms late at night, many people immediately search the internet or rush to a clinic. In many cases, the problem is minor and manageable, but the lack of clear, practical guidance makes people uncertain about what to do. This is the gap that books like The Home Doctor attempt to fill. The idea behind the book is simple: provide a structured guide that explains how people can respond to common health situations when professional help is not immediately available. Instead of scattered online advice, the book presents organized explanations for everyday medical scenarios that could happen at home. But the real question many people ask is whether the book is actually useful. In this review, we'll look at what the book contains, who it may be helpful for, and what its limitations are. The goal is not to promote or criticize it, but to understand whether it serves a practical purpose. The first thing to understand about The Home Doctor is its format. It is structured more like a practical reference manual than a traditional health book. The content is divided into sections that focus on specific situations people may encounter, such as minor injuries, common illnesses, or environmental hazards. For example, the book discusses topics like burns, dehydration, infections, wound care, and basic first aid situations. The focus is on simple explanations that help readers understand what is happening and what basic steps might help stabilize a situation. Many people appreciate this type of structure because it organizes information in a way that is easier to consult quickly. Instead of reading the book from beginning to end, readers can move directly to the section that relates to the problem they are facing. Another notable aspect is that the book emphasizes resourcefulness. In situations where medical supplies may be limited, it often explains alternative methods or practical workarounds that can be done with simple materials available at home. This approach is particularly relevant for people interested in emergency preparedness. Natural disasters, power outages, or remote living situations can make access to professional care more difficult. In those moments, basic knowledge about wound cleaning, infection prevention, or hydration can make a significant difference. However, it is also important to recognize the limits of any home medical guide. Books like The Home Doctor are not substitutes for trained medical professionals. Serious injuries, severe infections, or complex medical conditions require proper diagnosis and treatment. No book can replace the experience and training of a doctor or nurse. Instead, the value of a guide like this lies in its ability to help people handle smaller problems more confidently and responsibly. One example discussed in the book involves wound care. Many minor cuts become problematic not because the injury is severe, but because they are cleaned or treated improperly. Basic information about cleaning wounds, controlling bleeding, and protecting the skin can help prevent complications. Another topic often covered in practical guides like this is dehydration. Dehydration can occur more easily than many people realize, especially during heat waves, illness, or power outages. Understanding the signs and simple ways to manage hydration can be helpful in everyday situations. The book also includes sections that discuss common symptoms people may experience, such as headaches, stomach discomfort, or infections. The goal is not to diagnose conditions, but to help readers understand what symptoms might indicate and when professional medical help becomes necessary. This type of awareness can help people respond more calmly and rationally when something unexpected happens. Another interesting aspect is the book's focus on preventive thinking, rather than only reacting to problems. Some sections discuss habits and preparations that may reduce the likelihood of certain emergencies. For example, keeping basic medical supplies at home, maintaining hydration, and understanding how to manage minor injuries are all simple steps that can improve household readiness. However, readers should also approach the material with realistic expectations. A book can provide information, but knowledge only becomes useful when it is practiced and understood. Reading about first aid is helpful, but applying those concepts calmly during a stressful situation requires familiarity and preparation. This is why many experts recommend combining written guides with hands-on learning when possible. Basic first aid training, CPR classes, and emergency response education can reinforce the type of information found in practical manuals. In that sense, books like The Home Doctor work best as a complement to broader preparedness and health education. So is the book worth reading for people who want a structured overview of practical health situations that can happen at home. It can serve as a useful reference. It organizes a wide range of common topics into a single place and encourages readers to think more carefully about everyday health preparedness. At the same time, it should be viewed as a learning resource rather than a complete medical solution. The most valuable takeaway from guides like this is not a specific remedy or technique. It is the mindset of being prepared, informed, and attentive to health situations that might arise unexpectedly. Household knowledge about basic care, prevention, and early response can help reduce confusion and panic when problems occur. In the end, the usefulness of a book like The Home Doctor depends largely on how it is used. If it encourages readers to think more proactively about health, build a simple first aid system at home, and learn the basics of responding to common problems, then it serves a practical purpose. Preparation does not require complex systems. Often, it begins with clear information and simple habits. If you found this review helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. The goal here is to examine practical health resources and explain them in a clear and balanced way, and if you want to look at the book yourself, you can find a link to the official page in the description. There you can review the full details and see whether the material fits what you are looking for.